Well, certainly here in Thailand, one of the big industries is the automotive industry. Huge amount of exports going around the world, as well as a large local economy as well. And tyres form a large component, of course, of every automobile that gets shipped out from Thailand and everyone driving on the roads of Thailand. So it's very interesting to have one of the big players of the tyre industry here in the studio with us to tell us a little bit about how they experienced 2009, what they see for 2010, and some of the technology as well that Goodyear Thailand are working on and developing that we will see on the roads and on the moon perhaps in the coming years. So it's with pleasure I introduce the Managing Director of Goodyear Thailand Public Company Limited, Kun Goodyear Thailand. Thank you very much for joining Morning Talk. So first of all, let's kick off with 2009. A good year, so to speak?
In general, for 2009, is I would say is a good year for us. We hit a little bump similar to other automotive company here in Thailand in the first quarter of 2009, and that is basically the knock-on effect from 2008, where we had the subprime crisis in the U.S. Actually, starting from the U.S. in the third quarter, and then started to hit Asia. I think Asia started to feel that impact basically in the fourth quarter. But for Thailand, I think it's worse because in the fourth quarter we also have basically a shutting down of airport in the fourth quarter of 2008 as well. So the first quarter in 2009, I think for the industry, many industry as a whole, I think it's a bad quarter. But things started to pick up in the second quarter, and it actually improved from there.
And for Goodyear, how much of, because you've got a big factory out at Rangsit, so you produce the tyres locally, a large proportion of them. How many of those tyres end up overseas, and how many of them actually stay here in Thailand? What's the percentage of export versus local use?
For us here at Goodyear Thailand, 50% of our production capacity is for export, and our export business is basically within the Asia Pacific Rim countries.
So as far south as New Zealand,
Australia, New Zealand, to Indonesia, all the ASEAN countries, some to Taiwan, to China. Okay, so 50% of our capacity basically for export within the Asia region.
And the other 50% is local. We'll touch on it in just a moment, the result of AFTA, which has kicked in 1 January of this year. But I want to talk a little bit about Goodyear technology. Now, I see this picture and I'm absolutely fascinated. So if we can just zoom in on this. It appears to be a spring tyre. Why do you need a tyre made of springs?
You see the picture on the right of Kun Gibson's. On the right, basically that is the original.
This one.
Original spring tires made up of wire mesh. Okay, and on the left, basically is the new version. Is a spring tire made up of 800 individual springs.
And so I should use this for driving around Buriram or
why not?
The rice fields?
Maybe in the next 4 or 5 years, we are able to develop these spring tires for earth application.
So these are actually the tires that were used on the Apollo when they go to the moon.
Yeah. Okay. The first version was used with the Apollo. Okay, on the first mission to the moon. Okay, and the second one is for future lunar visit. Okay, and this is the result of the collaboration between Goodyear engineers and NASA engineers. Okay.
And that's one of the trademarks really of Goodyear. A huge amount of research goes into the development of tyres. You actually have a test fleet of drivers actually testing the tyres continuously on Thai roads. I want to talk a little bit about this technology. I have to get the name right here. Biosoprene technology, because I think this is very interesting with the price of oil going up, with the issues of oil supply being perhaps not as stable as they once were. I understand you are investing a lot of energy in finding other alternatives for the petrochemical additives in synthetic tyres. So tell us a little bit about this tyre and how it works.
In a tire, okay, it uses both synthetic and natural rubber. Okay, and the thing is, for natural rubber, 80% of the natural rubber production is from Asia. With the explosive growth in terms of demand for natural rubber and also in the tire industry. 50 to 60% of the demand for rubber actually is consumed within the tire industry. Okay.
So all those rubber plantations, this is where their rubber material is actually going into the tires.
That's right. In order to have stability for supply of natural rubber, scientists, come up with synthetic rubber. That basically happened many years back. To have supply of rubber in order to feed the industry. They come up with this synthetic rubber. But synthetic rubber in the past is made up of petroleum, mainly petroleum-based derivatives. Isoprene, which is a traditional isoprene, is a byproduct of petroleum, derived from this distillation process. And you have the the price of synthetic rubber is closely tied to the price of crude oil. In order to decouple that, Goodyear, in collaboration with Corp, which they are the expert in the industrial biotechnology, come up with a process, to derive isoprene from biomass product.
So they're able to actually remove themselves from being reliant on the oil.
To basically decouple, not to be too dependent on crude oil. And that is, they come up with this process. It's a multi-million dollar project, and we expect the bioisoprene to be commercially available in 2013.
So not too long to wait, just a few years.
It's only 3 years.
3 years from now.
Ago.
And a lot of research, I'm sure, going into that. Hopefully they'll hit the Thai shelves, but we're seeing a lot more Thai brands actually hitting the Thai shelves this year because of AFTA. It's now 0% duty, is that correct, on tyres from within the Asian Free Trade Area?
Basically, within the ASEAN, 10 countries, is 0% right now, with effect from 1st of January 2010.
So as a local producer, is this making life more difficult? Is it a more competitive market?
It's just, now it become more competitive, but we have our own strategy. We have been here in Thailand for more than 40 years, to be exact, 42 years. And we are the only tire company that is listed on the stock exchange of Thailand. And with more competition, I think it's only make us stronger. And I think in Thailand alone, I think competition is cutthroat. You have right now tires coming from everywhere, from China, from Taiwan, from Korea. There are more than 50, 60 brands right now of passenger tire brand in Thailand.
Well, that's a lot of competition, more than 50 brands, but I'm sure Goodyear will prevail. It's very interesting to know that you are employing such a large number of Thais actually in senior management positions, as I understand. The entire executive management, including yourself, are all Thai.
I think it's the first time.
The first time?
It's the first time for Goodyear Thailand that we have all the leadership team that is local. I think the last person that we recruited actually 2 months ago is a finance director. He's a Thai, and that complete the whole team. And all our Thai management team right now.
So thank you very much for joining us on Morning Talk.
It's my pleasure to be here.